And joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is the ESPN pundit of all things NFL. He is literally the expert on anything you need to know when it comes to American football. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah.
Dano, you're really getting after it this morning. Is that an everyday thing? We didn't have a full conversation while you were getting after it this morning with the kettlebell and the body weight stuff.
Oh, working out? Yeah. I always say, like, one of the benefits of being fortunate enough to play like sports so long is it's had such a good impact on like post actual sports playing life. I used to do it for vanity, I still think I do a little bit, but I can't really go a day without working out for my brain, or like I feel like I just become crazy edgy and not fun to be around. So yeah, I got to kind of get to a point of physical pain almost on a daily basis.
I respect that. Just beat the hell out of yourself. Whatever gets you by, okay? Whatever makes life the best. And
I need it, man.
From a vanity perspective, you look good. You look good, brother. Just want to let you know it's all paying off. Those suits this year look extra snug, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Tight.
Yeah, they got
the
tight
real tight.
Yeah. And maybe I've actually put on a couple of pounds, and that's why they look as tight as they do.
No, see, that you doing the whole thing about not having confidence about the shape that you're in, vanity stuff. You look good. You need to know that you look unbelievable. But it did feel as if the suits, instead of getting them a couple sizes too big, because, we might get through a holiday season, this might be a little bit, it feels like you were aggressive in this one, said, take it in.
Yeah.
This is me. Dana, we're doing AQ's takeaways. We're through the first one or the second one. Rushing down was the first one. Second one, Danny Dimes blitz conqueror because of what he was able to do to the Denver Broncos. They blitzed him over 70% of the time. He had a 117 or something like that QBR against the blitz for 268 yards and everything like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add to the Danny Dimes conversation that maybe we've left off that you have seen?
No, I think the overall thought in Indy in relation to everything is like, you got to give Shane credit. He had a lot of noise around how it was handled and what quarterback he should go to. I thought he should have gone with Anthony. Obviously, that would have been wrong because Daniel's playing so well. So you got to give him a lot of credit. I think the second thing is it's just a high level of trust right now. When I watch play calling, oftentimes you can watch play calling from a quarterback's perspective, and you can get the information of, are you trusted or not? And I think that's the thing that pops off the tape is they just trust Daniel right now because they're so aggressive throwing the football in early downs. We did something yesterday. I think, they've thrown the ball 18 or 20 times on first down. That's an indicator of like, we believe in you. I think they've thrown the ball like 13 times on second down. So that's something that stands out. And you're starting to see a little bit more of that creativity. AQ's flip. I mean, that really for you guys, like, and this is like, that's Sale. It's just somebody deep, somebody middle, somebody short. And they just are super. This is Sale. Daniel's run this play over 1,000 times in his life. Not in that regard, though, not the way that they got to it. You see those three levels, that's a perfect shot of it right there. And so just the ability to take a very basic concept, you're going to see a deep guy, a middle guy, and a short guy, and make it look like something completely different, even though it's not. And so now Tyler being a huge part of that. And so you're seeing the creativity back for Shane. And then give credit to Daniel. I would say that Daniel is playing in a way that we never seen him play. Daniel Jones coming out of school was a guy that would always panic under pressure, panic with the football. That's why he had those turnovers. He's actually under pressure a decent amount in these first 2 weeks. Like he's dealing with chaos and he's been flawless in it, and that's what's been remarkable. I mean, this throw's big time now. I mean, it's big time throw. Downs is great, by the way. So, a lot of good stuff on their tape. A lot of it.
Yeah, I agree. And he's been tough for us. The Dimes dive has 3 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Even if we don't get it, the first 3 downs, who cares? Run it again.
Yeah.
This dude is tough for us. He's big for us. And he's much more athletic, I think, than most people give him credit for. We've always hit the Danny Dimes over rush yard prop.
Yep.
Okay, that has been since the beginning. He's a much better runner than you would think just by looking at him. And we're saying that strictly because of all the stereotypes. Yes, that is why we were saying it. Out of Duke, what he looks like, everything like that. You would think this guy, there's no way he can move. He can. He still's got a different gear, too. This past weekend, somebody breaks free. I think right offense looking out, right defensive end or pass rusher. And he's 2 feet from Danny Dimes, maybe a foot. Yeah. And Danny Dimes turns, runs, double clutch, puts it in new gear. hits a different gear on this guy, gets to the edge, gain of like 4, I think, as opposed to a sack that happened. And obviously I'm not comparing that against Anthony Richardson, but I certainly was comparing that against my thoughts of Danny Dimes. And he's 28 years old. He's just hitting his physical prime.
Young.
Like everything that is up or has been potential upside for Danny Dimes is seemingly all hitting right now. His recollection of coverages, his recollection of everything that's going to happen, his knowledge of the plays, which is like that Duke education, is all coming together. Like he learned it all very quickly. His feel for the game after getting his ass beat, I think, for so long with the Giants, good. His humility, not that it was ever gone, but now he literally can't listen to anything because outside noise has been so loud for everything. Never even had an opportunity to dive into that stuff. It's like, we got a guy here in Indianapolis. It's like a perfect fit for us too.
I think one of those things too that I feel is consistently showing itself, maybe a little bit more recently or not. And so this is the conversation around Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, and it seems at least through 2 weeks, Daniel Jones is like, and I know Geno didn't play well Monday night, but there's a big body of work that Geno Smith is like, there is something to be said for these younger quarterbacks just getting absolutely embarrassed publicly, like getting, they're just going through hell essentially professionally and not breaking and like not allowing that to break them and then using it to in a positive way, like continuing their process, continuing to work, believing in yourself, not allowing doubt to become more than self-belief, and it's paying off. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be that case for everybody, but it does seem like that is a overwhelming common theme between those guys.
Yeah, being mentally calloused is a good thing, I think. Because they're embattled whenever it comes to everybody thinking or them thinking that everybody has the same opinion about them, which is a negative one. Because they can get real loud, and those ones steal thoughts, For me, I still go through it because they can get real loud, negative things said, and it's like, man, how many people feel that way? Does everybody feel that way? Should I feel that way about me?
Yeah.
And then all of
is it true?
Yeah, exactly. You start going like, yeah, that is exactly that is true, actually. And I never really thought. And then you start getting in there, and then you could lose your confidence. And if you lose your confidence as a quarterback,
that's everything.
I mean, anything, you lose your confidence. So you got to like fight through that. And the fact that Danny had it in the biggest market, in the biggest way,
following a Super Bowl legend quarterback,
Eli, he was supposed to be the next one. Same coach, remember? Coach Cutcliffe, great man. Got a chance to meet him this past weekend down there in Tennessee. Good guy. But it was like, this is the next. Hey, you got him. Good job. Why'd we draft this guy? He's Eli. He's Eli, but more athletic. We drafted who? He's Eli, but more athletic. And then it doesn't work out. And it's like bang, 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 bang.
And then when it does work out, they pay him because he wins a playoff game. And because they pay him and it doesn't work out, he gets killed.
This guy made more money than Eli Manning ever made. It is it's a lot. But, mentally calloused, physically hardened, and his mind seems to be sharp with what defenses are currently doing, and he fits Shane Steichen's offense perfectly. You see what Shane was able to do, obviously, with Phil Rivers at Chargers. It was a lot more throwing, not a lot of moving. But whenever Shane Steichen really came into his own is with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. Jalen can move. He's physical. He's strong. Anthony Richardson was a guy I think that they wanted for Shane Steichen because they were going to be able to do that. Danny Dimes has all that shit. Danny Dimes has all of that shit as well. We're in a good spot. Okay, what's the next takeaway from week 2 that we should talk more about, AQ?
The Detroit Lions got back to doing what they did last year.
Oh, you're talking about the great resurrector all the way back, the Detroit Lions. Go ahead, AQ. What did you see from them?
Yeah, they got back to doing the shifts and the motions and running the football. They look like a completely different team from week 1 to week 2. And right here, you get Laporta in motion. You get the crack toss at the point of attack. You can see him motion, and boom, crack, get around, bend outside, touchdown. On the next one, unbelievable play here. Unbelievable. We're going to send the whole O-line right. We're going to motion Laporta. We're going to run the bend back, fake zone right, get everybody out to the left. So much eye candy, so many shifts, so many motions.
Whoa.
This is exactly the whole O-line goes right. They get Taylor Decker out in front. They get Laporta out in front. They get Gibbs bending it back all the way against the zone, over the top ball handling. Defense has no idea where this ball's going. This is exactly why they had so much success last year. It was all the eye candy, the shifts, the motions, and running the football.
The ball fake there, too, got that left D-end very, very badly. If you saw Goff on that counter too, how important is that, Dano, when it comes to play action fakes for the ball fake? Because we also saw Rodgers get another guy like he did back in the day.
Yeah, so it's actually a good observation and a good point too. It's a huge deal, and I think it's something that
charming.
Yeah, I was being serious there. I think it's something so that there's obviously a lot of conversation about quarterback development that has kind of been a hot button topic over the past week or two. That is something that is the way quarterbacks used to get taught in certain offenses was a massive thing. Like AQ knows it. The run game works because all 11 are attached to the run game. It's not like the offensive line blocked good and the running back ran well. It's, in your run game, it's the proper scheme and everybody is synchronized with the way that they're going about their blocks, and the quarterback and his handoff or his fake after the handoff on a bootleg or the way he snaps it. I remember getting taught when I was early, in like the Shanahan Kubiak tree of we would run zone and I would hand the ball off, and we would do drills where I would put the ball in the running back's stomach, like Arian Foster or someone like that, or Steve Slayton. And we would have a drill where we would hand the ball off or be in the process of, and our coach at the very last minute would be like, pull it, and so we had the process of giving the ball to back. No, I'm not. And so, and then snapping our head downfield. And so I think a lot of that stuff has gone away from the position in many ways because it's just not emphasized as much anymore. And, I think that Goff's a guy that was trained under Sean and knows how important those details are to the run game of the bootleg or the hand. I always talk about with these quarterbacks who are handing the ball off from underneath, we were always taught it's a dealer at a casino.
Deal cards.
And you're dealing, and your offhand has got to be, excuse me, in the stomach, because a defensive end, if I'm a quarterback and I open up to my right to hand the ball off, the defensive end is trying to see, is my other hand hanging off of my body? Because if so, they're thinking that's a tell. Is maybe he does that on the handoffs. And so the defensive end can then crash down the line of scrimmage. You get the backside. And so you're trying to all make it look the same. And so that's actually a good observation by Boston Connor is Goff's got that stuff it's all connected.
I love that Connor and you just had a good football moment. I was trying to find a ball.
I mean, just wait for the moment that's coming between me and Dano in 3 weeks.
What's that?
When we can really talk about a future storyline of the NFL season this year, and that's Drake Maye football, baby.
Okay, on that note, let's go to Hammer.
Yo, he played good.
Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, I was just looking for it, Dan. I couldn't find the tweet, but you put out a Cam Ward tweet from week 1 about his film, and I thought I saw a Drake Maye tweet about his film from week 2.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Did Drake Maye look awesome as well?
I would tell you that I thought this was the best game of him as a professional.
Wow.
I thought when it comes to some of the stuff that Drake Maye did now, a little bit of his credit to Josh McDaniel, I thought they moved him a lot more. I mean, he's such a big-time athlete. They moved him, so the athleticism was a bigger part of the game and his game, and he throws so well on the run. I thought some of the ball placement throws that he had versus some decent coverage was big time, and then his ball fakes have grown a lot. This ball to Boutte is absolutely perfect. On the one-on-one down in the red zone, the ball to the back down the sideline, this one to Ramondre, this ball, I don't care if the guy's in his back pocket, it's perfect. And so I think when it comes to this, Drake last year, there was a tremendous amount of growth in his feet in the pocket and his movement and throwing in rhythm and timing. And then this game, it was listen, there's a lot of remnants in this game of Ben Roethlisberger and Josh Allen and just the style of play. If you just took the jersey, there's a lot of stuff that looked like early guys of Ben Roethlisberger and Josh Allen style-wise. Big time.
Okay.
He was awesome.
Yeah, Connor was just squirming in his seat.
Well, then I remembered. I need to temper what I am, hearing, because it is Dan Goofslowski.
No, it's not.
And I'm not sure, how long.
We had a moment.
You were talking about the Dan Wagon, where the Dan Wagon does get latched to a lot of different players early in the season.
And he latched it to Cam Ward and they lost 33-19. And he played great.
Did you see that throw?
The film, the film. I know I'm a non-player.
But I think everybody has said, including Dan, Cam Ward good, Titans bad.
Exactly.
It's got to make sense. So he's saying Drake Maye good at least. Now Patriots good?
TBD.
Question question mark. Yeah.
They're not talented enough to be like good, I don't think.
Oh,
but I
no.
think that
You didn't have to give an answer there. That was not an expected answer, but I do appreciate
see
you.
something, I swing at it.
You know it.
See something, I swing at it, man.
Yes, you do. Jeez. All right, let's give you something to swing at that's great out in Los Angeles. D-Bud has a question for you.
Yeah, another quarterback who I wouldn't say has had development issues. He's been a star since he stepped on the scene, in my opinion, but has had to change a lot of coaches and things like that. Playing very, very good football. Justin Herbert came out of the gate swinging. Offense looks different under Greg Roman as well. What's your early thoughts on Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense?
I think the Chargers as a team are as complete as anybody in football. I think they're as well coached as anybody in football. Offensively, it just feels different. It feels like in their belief, they've got the best player in the NFL, and they just cut him loose on early downs nowadays. And it is just play action pass after play action pass on early downs. In their words, the health he has this year is a big deal. You know, Greg Roman talked to us last year about Justin in relation to last year, and he said they watched 23 and 24, 2023 and 2024 tape, and they were like, just the ankle and how it affected all parts of it. That's a sick throw. All parts of his game, they underappreciated. And so his legs are a big deal this year. I think this, but like, just from a this is 4th and 1, and he gets to the third read. Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, by the way, got a chance to be a Hall of Famer. Okay, like legit. When you look at his numbers, got a chance to be a Hall of Famer. So, okay, like this is what I want to say about the Chargers offensively. Again, I mentioned their early down passing and whatnot. They're huge on offense, physically. Like their offensive line, think about it in this it's old school Baltimore in a way. Massive offensive lineman. Joe Alt, their left tackle, looks like Jonathan Ogden. Then they take like Matlock, who's their 300-pound tight end or fullback. They put him on the field. So you got 6 cats on the field that are 300 pounds plus. And then they go play action passes. And so you can't get to the quarterback. And then McConkey's got great speed and feel. Greg Roman told us, or Coach Harbaugh said, McConkey reminds him of Marvin Harrison, just his ability to get open. Quentin Johnston's downfield getting open.
Yep.
Their tight ends are good players. Their backs average 235 pounds. And so they're just a difficult matchup right now. And offensively, man, dude, they're playing at a high level. And then defensively,
lights out.
But you could talk to it better than me, but like, I told you guys, Pat, I told you Derwin's great. Like, Derwin's great, man, to talk to. But, like, I think the thing that makes them difficult on defense, D-Butt, is they force you to be patient as a play caller and quarterback with their style. But you know you have to get explosive plays against them. Mm-hmm. And those two things I don't think can happen at the same time, you know? Yeah. And so you end up chasing stuff, but you shouldn't. They don't give you completions. They play a zone defense, but it's not your traditional zone defense where they just go to areas. They're matching concepts, and they're matching routes, and they're matching, 3-level stuff where it's like, yes, it's a zone, but it feels like zone, man, but it's a zone. And so it's hard to play against that unit, man.
Yeah, they're just suffocating. They have players that can do multiple things. The guys on the outside, they play well, but you can have Derwin James depending on the week. Okay, we got Brock Bowers, and Brock wasn't, fully healthy, but hey, we got Brock, we got Kelsey. We need you to take that guy out of the game, or we'll use you more in the run game, or we'll use you in the deep run through. Like just a bunch of guys on the same page, flying around, no egos. It almost reminds you of like a college defense, like that Michigan defense that Mentor had in Michigan. He carried that shit right over. You saw glimpses of it last year, but this year everybody's on the same page.
So will OCs be able to figure this out or no? I guess that's a question for you, Dan. Like, is it so early in the season that it's like towards the later end of the season, are people going to be able to understand what they're doing?
No, Pat, I mean, this was the number one defense points per game in the NFL last year. They gave us 17 points a game last year, too.
How come nobody talked about that, Dan? I expect you to.
Did. I would tell you this.
You and Fowler and Riddick were talking about it maybe on Monday night, but before that, I didn't hear that one time come out of the people.
I think it's a great question of, like, how do you play against it and have success against it? I think you have to be able to get bigger than them at the line of scrimmage and control the run game. So two teams that I think immediately have the ability to do that are Buffalo and Baltimore. AQ would know a little bit about that more than me, but I just think you're not going to dink and dunk your way down the field against this defense. You're just not over the course of 4 quarters, and you are not going to hit big explosive plays on them that often. You're just not. So you got to be able to control the line of scrimmage.
You got to hit your shots.
It's like when you playing the great quarterbacks, like going into the game with like great quarterbacks, like you're playing Brady, you're playing Manning, you're playing Patrick Mahomes. They may give you 2 opportunities to make a play on the ball.
You got to make them.
You got to make the play. You can't drop an interception. They're going to drive down and score or get a touch, a field goal, whatever. So it's the same way with this Chargers defense. You got to run the ball. So they respect the run, and maybe they drop it. Say maybe they do something a little out of character. You get them off. But if they stay on schedule and they're playing, you're not beating them. And when you do have an opportunity to hit an explosive play, you better hit it because you probably aren't going to get another chance for the next 2 or 3 drives. So it's the same mindset as a defensive player. You're playing those guys. That's the offensive mindset with these guys.
So that guy's a head coach very soon.
Yep, Harbaugh said it.
Mentor?
Yeah.
Stud. Absolute stud.
So if he was up for a job and you were up for a job, you'd be like, you should take him?
Yeah, no question. Not even close.
Okay. Hey, actually, I'll do your offense, Book. Something to think about out there. If we yeah, he's that building is awesome too. I don't know if you were out there, obviously, or have been out there. Brand new practice facility, huge, beautiful place. Brand new state-of-the-art everything basically there. The vibes from equipment room, training room.
The food.
Chefs, you name it. Oh, my God. Everybody is all going in the same direction. It is wonderful out there. And Harbaugh feels like the perfect guy to bring it all together. And Herbert is a dude, certified, what we all believe. Speaking of another guy certified, won a Super Bowl. Some people say average, maybe. He won a Super Bowl last year. And I think he even called his own shot, dagger, to win it. I think. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Dano, where are you currently at on Jalen Hurts? Because I remember you came on, when we were at the Hall of Fame, and you basically said, hey, last year he didn't play like a top half of the league quarterback, and we kind of gave you hell for it, and then, promptly got you off the show. And then a couple weeks later on Get Up, I believe you said that, him and Sirianni are like the modern day Belichick and Brady.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people didn't listen to what you said. They just said, this guy said he sucked last year, and now he's calling him Tom Brady 2 weeks later. So they were like, Dano's a moron.
Yeah, you kind of got out of context quoted pretty good there.
You did. And
by your own show, I think.
That's neither here nor there. That's going to happen. But
used to it.
Obviously, Jalen, he hasn't really been filling up the stat sheet like crazy, but they continue to win. Where are you on Jalen Hurts right now?
Yeah, so I feel the same that I did about his performance last season. And then the reason why I said the Belichick Brady thing was it was in relation to their style of just whatever it takes to win, like the obsession, no noise, hyper focus, all that. So I think like this. Week 1, I thought he was tremendous because it was what the defense was giving him the opportunity to do. And it basically pitched a perfect game. And then when I watched week 2, I don't think there was a ton more that he could have done with the football. I just right now, their pass game through 2 weeks. So I'm not burning it up, but they ran the same route with A.J. Brown 10 times from the same location. There's a beauty in this, of doing the simple stuff. And I can appreciate that. Hey, our guy, we're going to line up and we're going to run the same route and stop it.
No, it's happening again. It's happening again.
Yep.
They just beat the Chiefs, and people are calling for people to be fired.
Oh, yeah, they want this OC fired.
No, I'm not calling for anyone to be fired.
You're just saying, hey, this guy's running the same route from the same place 10 times.
It's a fact, though. It's a fact. So, if we're sitting there dissecting maybe why the stat sheet's not getting filled up or, you're not throwing for 300, you got one of the best receivers in football, and 10 times in that game, he runs up 5 yards and breaks in. So... there's a predictability element of that. And there's also okay, we completed. We got 8 yards, and so there's just that.
Yards stink.
Yeah, but you're not. Never go broke making a profit, brother. Never see the red if you only take green.
That's right.
Hey, you went to the Hall of Fame off that Indy route.
The Chiefs have been back to the Super Bowl.
But I get Dan's point, though. It's for a defense, and the Chiefs had – I think they held the Eagles to their lowest output since 2021 or something like that. But
come on!
I mean, you lost the game. You lost the game, so that's the big thing. But when you're coming into you have a weapon like A.J. Brown. You have a $30 million a year wide receiver, and he's been doing and saying all the right things. So kudos to him. But you want to have some type of mystery with where number 11 is going to be, where number 6 is going to be, how they're going to use him. Like Justin Jefferson, slow start this year, young quarterback, but 18 is going to be moving all around. It's tough to game. We talked about with Tyler Warren. It's tough to game plan. We know coming. This is a big problem in the pass game, but where the hell is he going to be? How are they going to use him this week? How are they going to use him?
It's also D-Bud, if you're killing him. Like if you're killing them with it, keep doing it. Like it's just their offense from last year to a point. Like, hey, they keep running the football. Well, no one was stopping the run. And then in the Super Bowl, we're going to stop the run. Well, we're just going to throw vertical routes to AJ and Devontae. And so, like, if you're killing the defense, not a big problem. But when your offense maybe isn't firing on all cylinders and you're not playing the way that you maybe want to, or you're not as successful doing so, then yeah, I think that you're trying to figure out the why. The why would be like, I have notes here: right decision, right decision, right decision, right decision. I could pick and even like their runs that they scored on. I think those were for the most part the same formation and same action. AQ, like they put formation in the boundary and we ran like weak counter, weak zone. So it's like, yeah, it worked, but you can play better.
Understandable. Last year, Sirianni beats the Saints down in New Orleans. Everybody's calling for his job the next day.
Mm-hmm.
They get another win the next week. Everybody's calling for his job the next day. They get another win the next week. Everybody's calling for his job the next day.
Yep.
That offense coordinator is like, oh, now it's me because you won a Super Bowl. And with that being said, it feels like everybody feels the same way about this offense coordinator. Maybe this offense coordinator looks in the mirror like Dan Campbell did after that first game, whenever the reporter says to him, couldn't, in theory, you have run last year's offense and had success? It looked nothing like last year. What do you mean, man? And he goes, no motions, no shifts, no. It was just boring. It was lame.
Sucked.
It was terrible, basically, is what this reporter says. And he goes, go see what we did on the road. Dan, gets kind of offended. Then you just talked about their offense this week. Shifts, motions everywhere. Dan clearly on the board.
Yeah.
This is our shit.
Yeah. A lot of shifts, a lot of motions, okay?
The OC, right? In theory, could change the way he goes about calling plays, designing plays.
Yeah, it's still early. We were week 2, and you're winning games. And to Dan's point, making the right decision. That's what it comes down to, playing quarterback. That's what Jalen Hurts has done. I think this is, 16 straight games where he started, including the playoffs, where he started and won. So if you're making the right decision, you got 130 yards passing or 80 yards passing or whatever it is, talking shit to Chris Jones at the end of the game, or Chris Jones talking shit to him. That's all. If you're down in victory formation at the end of the game, nobody cares what. Well, Jalen Hurts doesn't care what the stat sheet, because there are some quarterbacks who they come into their locker room after the game and they only have 190 yards passing. They don't feel great. They want to be the reason why and the reason that team is where they are. Jalen Hurts, that's not hasn't been his motive since coming into the league, and I'm sure Eagles fans are fine with that. But fantasy, bettors, people want to see points. A lot of people
want to see A.J. Brown doing different routes.
Yeah.
I drafted A.J. Brown in the second round. Why is he scoring?
I got Big Batman. You got to run 5 yards, okay? Send the cape down the goddamn field a couple of times here. Yeah, I understand.
Find out the modern day Belichick and Brady. Because Brady,
don't care.
He will hand it off 47 times. Shit, we were part of it. What was it? Garrett Blunt. Yeah. Jonah Gray, like it didn't matter.
Still running.
Boom. Yeah, still running.
Like Garrett Blunt is still running. I actually see him from the sideline, watching him just run from my right chin, shoulder to shoulder. From right chin, shoulder to shoulder, all the way to left shoulder. It was chin, shoulder to shoulder. Like Garrett Blunt. A couple times. Maybe the other way too.
Yeah, Geezy was a good dude. There was a stat like a week or two ago that like Brady is like second or third all time with wins when he's thrown for like less than 150 yards or something.
I believe
it's
not. Aaron's probably close. Aaron's probably close too. Aaron Rodgers will hand that thing off.
Oh yeah,
no problem at all. Like every time his MVP conversation started, like a couple years back, people were like, "Look at his stats. Look at his stats. Look at his stats." It's like, did they win the game or they did win the game? That's all he cares about. If the right call here is running the ball. Tom Brady, same thing. Now Peyton. I believe the best option is through the sky.
We're not going to win if I don't throw for 500 today.
Now, on that note, Super Bowl, you got Joseph Adai, Dommy Rhodes going crazy in there. And Peyton continued to, let's go ahead and do this. And it opens up to Reggie.
Both Super Bowls.
Yeah. And
Broncos
Joseph,
too.
Yeah, definitely. That's,
When he won his Super Bowl with the Broncos, he had 143 passing yards and 2 picks.
Yeah, like I think.
Who was the back? Who was the running back?
No-Sean Marino.
No-Sean?
Yeah.
Is that No-Sean? Yeah.
I think, personally, the quarterbacks that are very good understand, like, hey, this run game's only better for me, brother. Like, this is, because now everything is here, and we're getting ones on the outside, which leads to a huge questions. because they thought we were a question. We thought there was going to be a ground and pound kind of resurgence in this all. And stats aren't saying that's the case, AQ.
No, we talked about it earlier, Dan. We saw that run game is down this year. And the question that I have for you, are you seeing anything specific on tape, or is it a combination of things that you see from defenses?
Yes, yes, dang it. I'm in a tough spot right now, AQ, because I like to figure stuff out and hold it. So I would tell you this. I think that there's a trend going on.
Shut up.
You're a loser.
Yeah.
I think, listen,
people didn't see you because the stat was on the full screen. Dan had on this back screen. Yeah. As AQ was saying that, he had a full. Look at my daughter. My daughter did one of these.
I want to say this first.
Yes, that's my win. Like, that's our wins. That's the competitiveness. So let me answer it, okay? I think I would tell you, I think some of the things that are attached to the run game being down are, I don't think that we have a ton of backs right now with great vision in the league. I think that there's backs that are missing holes at times. And I don't know if this is because gun run track is different than under center run track, and the way that back sees it, the spacing and timing behind some offensive linemen. I think some of the teams that we've seen be very successful over the past couple of years in the NFL are dealing with that right now, with just a lack of kind of that necessary vision from their backs. So that's part of it. I also think, and I sent a tweet out, AQ, the other day, is like, there's a lot of commonalities between the offenses that are performing well and a lot of commonalities between the offenses that are struggling. I think one of the things that is a standout in the NFL through 2 weeks, and I'm getting ahead of it right now.
Getting ahead of it.
Because I don't want anyone else to think of it.
Too late, you're behind.
Please, what are you
bitch.
thinking? No, AQ's got his multiples. Yeah. What is yours?
Yeah.
Shout out to Dr. Pepper, by the way, the official drink authority.
Love you, Doc.
Yeah. Listen, we've talked about for a couple years now, quarterbacks underneath the center. I think that's a commonality between the offenses through 2 weeks that have played well. I think the offenses that are being aggressive on first down and play action, not just drop back, play action. Those are the offenses that are performing well. And I think the teams that are willing to play with two or more tight ends on the field on early downs are the teams offensively that are performing well.
Way to go. Way to get ahead of that one. That one's yours. That's Dan Orlovsky.
TM.
I need 12 personnel, says Dano here in 2025. I need at least
12 or more.
I need at least 2 tight ends on the field for this. I need people going to center. Rich Rodriguez heard you loud and clear. I don't know if he stole it from you, but I am appreciative that you thought of that ahead of time. I can't wait to see your full report on that. You're the man, Dano. Oh, we end eating, of course.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, go ahead and get you've earned that snack, I think.
Well,
that's why you always farting on TV, huh?
Yeah, just can't stop feeding the gullet, so that means it's coming out of the ass at some point. Go ahead and get the microphone there. Great work on Monday night. No farts. Also thought you did a great job. I didn't stay up for it, but I heard it was awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky.